If you want to get Mexican residency, one of the key things you need to understand is the financial requirements. The financial requirements for a temporary resident visa in Mexico. This is a visa that allows you to stay in Mexico for more than 180 days and up to 4 years and puts you on a path to permanent residency and eventually citizenship. But to qualify, you'll need to prove your financial solvency. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what you need to know about these financial requirements step by step. As a disclaimer, the requirements change a little bit depending on where you're applying, whether it's Canada, the United States, where in the United States, or Europe, whatever country you apply in, the requirements are slightly different. My Latin Life, we're an immigration agency. We can help you get Mexican residency wherever you're from. We can help you get it. There's going to be a link in the description where you can book a call with us or simply order your Mexico residency assistance right away, and we're ready to get started. Let's keep going. So first, let's talk about the two options you have to prove financial solvency. You can either show that you have enough money in investments or bank accounts, or you can show that you have a steady monthly income from employment or a pension. Now, if you're going the investment or bank account route, you need to prove that you have a monthly ending balance of at least 5,000 days of the current general minimum wage in Mexico City. Right now, that's roughly $73,235 USD, okay, 73K. To meet this requirement, you'll need to provide documentation from your bank. This can either be printouts of your electronic bank statements for the last 12 months, certified by the bank with a stamp or signature, or the same bank statements plus a letter from your financial institution. The letter needs to include your full name, details about your account, and the ending balance for each of the last 12 months. And it has to be signed by hand, okay? So you have to have maintained a minimum balance of at least 73K for each month for the past 12 months, okay? And that's minimum, meaning it's not average. It has to be minimum 73K each month for the past 12 months. And by the way, I know that some banks aren't great about stamping things or signing things. If you work with My Latin Life, we'll help you solve that. If you don't have that kind of savings, the second option is to show that you have a steady income from employment or a pension. You'll need to prove that you've been earning at least 300 days of the current general minimum wage in Mexico City each month, which is around 4,300 USD after taxes. This income must have been consistent for the last 6 months. That means that after tax, meaning literally what hits your bank account every single month, needs to be more than $4,300 every single month. So it's not about, your top line salary. It's about what hits your bank account, okay? $4,300 every single month. And again, these numbers change with, the exchange rate and all that. If you're proving income through a pension, you'll need the most recent letter from your pension provider or Social Security showing the monthly amount you receive, along with certified financial statements that reflect that amount or pension receipts from the last 6 months. If you're proving income from employment, you'll need a verification letter from your employer that includes the date you started working, your job title, and your salary, as well as all your pay stubs from the last 6 months. Make sure the letter includes your full name as it appears on your passport, and it must be signed by hand. No electronic signatures or photocopies are accepted. You can also provide certified financial statements where your salary is deposited. As you can probably tell, there are small nuances, there are some gotchas, which is why it's really a lot better to work with a professional when you try to get your Mexican residency. Now, if you have dependents, if you're a family, spouse, parents, children, you'll need to prove the family relationship with a marriage license or birth certificate. You'll also have to demonstrate additional financial solvency for them. So for each dependent, you'll need to add an additional 100 days of the general minimum wage in Mexico City to your monthly required amount. So right now, 100 days of minimum wage is about 1,500 USD per applicant. 1,400, 1,500. Okay? So that means if it's you and a spouse, you're looking at just shy of 6K per month. If it's a family of 4, we're looking at a little bit less than 9K. Okay? In addition to these financial requirements, there are other general documents you'll need to provide when applying for the visa. These include the completed application form, your passport, and a copy of the page with your personal details, the photo, the signature, as well as a passport-sized photo that meets the specific requirements. Okay? If you're not a U.S. citizen, you'll also need to prove your legal status in the U.S., like your U.S. visa or permanent resident card. One kind of side note here, one strategy for you, some secret sauce you won't get anywhere else, is you could actually apply anywhere you have residency, right? A lot of people in our audience, a lot of LATAM enthusiasts, we have residency in different countries around the world. So if, say, you have residency in Paraguay, you could apply in Paraguay. If you have residency in Panama, you could apply in Panama. If you're a Canadian American, you can apply in Canada or the USA, right? So anywhere you're a resident, you could technically apply. And there are some consulates in the US and around the world where non-residents can apply. Famously, some of the ones in Texas, like El Paso and Laredo, used to or currently allow non-US residents and non-US citizens to apply there, but these things change all the time. So you want to check with us before you proceed with something like that and show up in Texas. Okay, so for any documents issued outside of the US or Mexico, such as a marriage license or birth certificates, they need to have an apostille or legalization. And if any of your documents are in a language other than English or Spanish, you'll need to submit a certified translation into Spanish. Okay, so maybe you were born in India or whatever, you'll need to get that in English or Spanish, and you might need to get that apostilled as well. Now, there are a few other things to keep in mind. First, the issuance of this visa depends on passing the consular interview. You're going to have to do an interview in person, and they're going to ask you, why do you want to live in Mexico? Okay. Also, the visa will be valid only for the time period specified and will be valid for just one entry into Mexico. So basically, they're going to affix a visa to your passport. They're going to physically put a visa in your passport book. And then you're going to have a period of time, I believe it's 6 months, to enter Mexico and complete the second step of the process. So it's essentially a 2-step process where you apply outside of Mexico at an embassy or consulate. You get the visa affixed to your passport book, and then you go to Mexico, and then you go to the INM office, the Migraciones office in Mexico, and you get your photo taken, and you receive your residency card, okay? So once you arrive, you'll need to complete the residency process with Mexican immigration, and you'll pay a small visa fee, so 2-step process in your home country and then in Mexico. So I see what a lot of my clients do is, what's cool is you get to apply from your home country, which is especially cool if you're a family listening to this. That way it's not disrupting your routine too much. You can just go to your nearest consulate. And in Canada, the US, there's consulates all over the country. Like, there's so many of them, and you can go to any of them. So, you don't have to take the kids out of school and fly them down to Mexico or anything until you already know that you get the visa, because they'll have the visa in your passport book. So you apply from the comfort of your own home, your own home country, that is, and then you can go down to Mexico, and you can almost kind of like treat it like a vacation. Like, hey, family, we're going down to Mexico. We're going to go spend a week, and we're going to go activate our Mexican residency, essentially, right? So I hope this clears up what you need to qualify for Mexico's temporary resident visa. If you have any questions or want more details on any part of the process, book a call with us. There's going to be a link in the description to book a call with My Latin Life. You'll be speaking with me, Vance, directly, and we'll answer any burning questions you have about the process. We'll create a custom game plan for you. And we're going to do everything possible to get this residency card in your hands as soon as possible. So start this process now, because the financial requirements go up every year, right? Because it goes up with inflation. It's based on the minimum wage. And actually the minimum wage went up 20% in the past year. So kind of more than inflation. And years ago, the financial requirement was like barely 2K, and now it's 4,400, right? So it just keeps on going up. So if you qualify now, do it now, because there's no telling you're going to qualify in the future. They keep making it harder and harder, okay? So we're ready to work with you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of this. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. We have tons more videos about the Mexico residency process. So search on our channel, Mexico, and the word Mexico residency. We have tons of podcasts. We have tons of other videos about different aspects of Mexico residency. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.